Hello and welcome to the Utah Hockey Podcast. My name is Kelly Queel. I'm here with my inquisitive co-hosts, Cole Bagley and Michael Wolf. We had a big old struggle bus.
Technical difficulties.
So many technical difficulties to record a podcast right now, and we did not anticipate coming here to chat about our lives and our recent events. We were supposed to have a guest on, but we're rescheduling with our guest, and we are going to talk hockey with you. We were remote for our last podcast, and we got to talk to Max Pisnishka.
Still I'm glad you know how to say it.
Pisnishka. I'm not that confident, but I did practice it. And we are also excited to be coming at you live from new places. Now we are going to be located on the KSL Sports podcast on wherever you get your podcasts. So look for us and subscribe in a new location.
And on the app.
Oh, and we're on an app. And then when Cole
and
said...
the website.
And we're on a website.
We're on the line now.
We're on all the interwebs. It's actually hard to escape us at this point. But both our moms said they listened to the podcast. Yeah. Mike and I were stoked on that. So I have an aunt listening. So
we've got at least
we're
3.
We're excited to branch out to the
and
family
my dad,
members.
So 4.
Bang.
And then your dad was like, "This is like it's really good." To me, and I was like, yeah. Cole and I this week brought our little babies to Stick and Puck. You missed out. It was really fun. And we got to skate with our little dudes. And that was so fun. But to catch up on the last week, we missed talking about some dev camp.
Yeah.
So catch us up because Mike and I were out of town. I was being bombarded with fireworks, and he was being bombarded with gunfire or something.
I was in Los Angeles, and Kelly was in the sticks. So
in the middle of nowhere on a golf course.
Exactly.
The dead center of America, truly the heart.
Well, I was with the rest of everybody that values Dev Camp.
Mm-hmm.
And...
Shade.
No, it was great. Bill Armstrong made a comment that I think kind of enlightened all of us of like, oh, yeah, this is pretty significant. They had like 5 first-round picks out on the ice practicing together. That's not common. That doesn't happen in the NHL. It's maybe like 1 or 2. But, Utah has a really deep pipeline. They have several, I think 5 total first-round picks dating back to the 2023 draft. So you had Boot and Simashev, and then you had Baudouin and Iginla, and then you had Denomie and Max, of course. Mm-hmm. There's a ton of talent out there. That is getting closer and closer to making their NHL debuts. And I think what stood out is just how individually talented they all are. Not just as a group. The future is very bright in Utah because you have the Coolies and the Gunthers and the Paterkas, but now you've got the Baudouins and the Iginlas and Simashevs and Boots all knocking on the door, and they're not far away. Right. And that was a lot of fun to watch and to see these guys up close because I've watched tons of highlights and tape on these players, but to see them, just a couple feet away from me, skating on the ice and to see, how they progressed, there were a couple of things that really stood out to me. First of all, TJ Ginla, he can still play hockey. Mm-hmm. He can still play hockey at a really high level, which is encouraging.
Even coming off an injury.
Hip surgery.
So,
dual hip surgery.
Significant injury.
That's
which
crazy.
we were not aware of. We thought it was single hip surgery. No, this kid had both hips operated on. I don't know exactly what it was, but dual hip surgery, and that's a concern. 18 years old to come back from that, like you have no idea how that's going to go.
To play hockey, right? Like if he was going to go play, I don't know, table tennis, you're like, yeah, it's probably going to affect his game.
Don't disrespect
But to come back, I'm just saying your hips are not essential.
Right.
And to skate after double hip surgery.
Your hips might be the most I feel like you use them the most enough.
Yeah.
Hip checks, changing directions, turning, like
everything. Every movement I feel like is coming from.
Would Shakira be good at hockey?
Maybe.
Oh, baby, when you talk like that.
Oh,
all right.
wow, that was good.
You're welcome. I sang too.
case you're looking to hire.
I do really good karaoke. It's my superpower.
Do you
You've
do
never
weddings?
seen it. I sure do.
Do you do weddings?
When you touch me like this.
Okay, continue, Cole.
We're gonna have to come up with like an intro song that Kelly
Can
sings.
barely recall.
It's actually really
See,
good.
I
I'm
told
impressed.
you.
Kelly's got pipes.
She's not lying. Okay, back to hockey. So
Back to what's
Iginla-
happening between the pipes and not
True.
in Kelly's pipes.
True.
Nailed
Yes.
that.
Not only could Iginla still skate, I think he was the strongest skater at Dev Camp, to be honest with you. His turns were the tightest and the smoothest, and his strides were really powerful.
He
and
beefed up.
His first few steps
from
were
his
really
draft.
good. Yeah, no, like
Looked like he put on some muscle,
Yeah.
some
him
mass.
and Baudouin. I don't think we're gonna see Iginla this season, not because he's not good enough, but I think he still needs time. Like, he's not yet fully cleared. Like, he didn't participate in the development game. He said he's close. I think he said like within the next month or so he should be 100% ready to go. I think he would benefit greatly to go back to the juniors for one more year, put up 100 points, and then, add some more strength and size, and then come back a year from now when, there's going to be some of those shorter term contracts coming off the books for the Mammoth that'll open roster spots, and there you go, TG Iginla, right?
Yeah, you think he'll go back and play in Kelowna then?
Yeah, he can't, because he's signed his contract.
Yes,
He can't go to
yeah.
the NCAA. Same with Baudouin, who I think is still going to go back to the juniors, but aside from Boot and Sinishev, which we'll get to them in a minute, of the last two drafts, I think Baudouin has the best chance to really, force the coaching staff to make a really tough decision this fall. He looked incredible. He's added size, he's added
Freaking
muscle
huge, too.
Yeah, he has put on some weight. And he is that style of hockey, that rat hockey that we talk about. And not necessarily like super pulverizing hits, but
He's not going to pull him out of Dev Camp anyway,
right.
but yeah.
But he is all over the ice. Literally. Like, you're talking, when you think of a 200-foot game, that's Baudouin. Like, just complete. He's everywhere, offense, defense. He laid out to block a shot in the development game.
That's so bad.
I'm like,
That's so cool.
I love that, but what are you doing?
Yeah, the coaches are probably like, great.
Don't do that
Love the
again.
passion.
That's what
Never
we
do that
say
again.
about
Yeah.
hockey IQ. It's so ingrained in them that they're like, I have to block this shot.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
I think it was a one-timer from the blue line, and he just lays out, and I'm like, ah!
Watch your hips.
I love it, but stop. But no, he blocked it. It was amazing.
That's awesome.
And, he was digging in the corners. He was forcing turnovers. He was eating in front of the net. He had a goal from the slot, and then he tapped the rebound back in. Like, I love that kid's game. He's got it, and he's going to be, I think, a special talent. And it'll be interesting to see. Like I said, I think he's going to cause some issues this fall, and like positive ones, where the coaching staff are like, I really, really don't want to cut this kid. What do we do here?
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily cutting, right? You send him back to juniors, it's not the biggest deal, but he feels too good to go back to the juniors. And that's why I think I don't necessarily want to open up this can of worms, but the NHL, and there's been this movement of like allowing 19-year-olds to play in the AHL, which would benefit a kid like Baudouin or an Iginla.
Yeah.
But that doesn't kick in until I think 26, 27, which I anticipate Iginla and Baudouin are going to be really pushing for a roster spot. So we'll see with those two. And then Denomie and Max.
Who, by the way, to recap the week for the people, were drafted Friday.
Yeah.
We're in town in Utah on Sunday, and we're like laced up on the ice with other players on Monday. It's
Right.
kind of wild.
I think they were in Utah Saturday, like the next day.
I think so.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, yeah, because maybe not. I think they flew in Sunday morning, and then we talked to them.
You talked to them.
And then they were on the ice Monday. Great.
It's awesome.
For starters, Denomie is one of the most confident kids I've ever met. And it doesn't come off as like cocky of like, oh, I don't like that guy. It's like, okay, he knows how good he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
He's had enough wins under his belt
Yeah,
thus far in his
exactly.
lower leagues. Yeah.
like it's like the Mamba mentality, right? Of Kobe Bryant. Like you go in and you know that you're the best in the room and you act like that because you want to win. And that's honestly, I think the Mammoth need more of that.
Yep.
And that's why
Yeah.
I really like, him as their selection. And then watching him on the ice, like his offensive abilities were very clear and obvious. I sent you some highlights, and we were able to post those.
Yeah.
One particular play where he and another, I can't remember who he was with, but it was a 2-on-1 situation, and Denomie, I think, passed it off, and a shot goes off the goalie's pads, and Denomie is going to the corner. He's going too fast to stop, but then he lifts his left leg and on one skate kicks it back to the front of the ice.
Mm-hmm.
That's his elite hockey IQ on display, and his ability to make plays that that's,
and just like, it doesn't matter if I failed to get a goal, my buddy's gonna get one from this.
Yes,
just like leave it all out there.
That's what I like about his game, is it's all about winning. It's not about me. It's not like, oh, I want to have 100 points with 50 goals and 50, like, he doesn't care. He just wants to put W's up on the board. And it was fun to watch him. In terms of his development, I know that he said, again, it goes back to that confidence thing. He told us the first time we met him, I want to make the team this year. And I'm like, that's great. Probably not going to happen. Not because he's not good enough. I don't think he's big enough.
Yeah.
He probably needs to add like 20, 25 pounds.
Yeah.
Before he's ready to take on NHL skaters. Like, this kid's like 175, 180. Yeah. He needs a little bit more, especially playing center in the NHL. He's got a way more than that. So I think that's like, his offensive game is going to continue to develop. His defensive game is going to continue to develop. It's the weight. And Bill Armstrong said he needs to become hockey strong.
Yeah.
And so I think that's like, I would anticipate 2 years. And we'll see what happens with him. He said that the NCAA isn't out of the question because he hasn't signed his deal. Yeah. And so he could be a player that now goes and plays NCAA hockey, which I think would be a huge positive.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's like, the juniors is whichever team and league you play in the juniors. It's such a development game. It's not like, yes, it's competitive. They want to win, but that's not their biggest focus. It's developing players. Whereas in the NCAA, they want to win.
Yeah.
They want to win championships, right?
It kind of fits his vibe that he might go try to do that too.
Yeah, and the rumors that I'd heard was that Boston College is potentially interested in him. So, again, we'll see what ends up happening. I think James Higgins is on BC. That'd be kind of interesting.
I was going to say, is he keeping that, we think?
I think so.
Okay, cool.
I don't think the Bruins are going to bring Higgins up right away.
No.
So that would be cool. Top 10
for the
picks.
people who maybe haven't been following in the past, it's kind of rare that we have a draft where there aren't draftees who are playing immediately. We haven't seen it maybe in the last 2 or 3 years.
Because usually the top 2
at
and
least
3
Bedard,
have a good shot.
Yeah.
And Celebrini.
Kind of go, Celebrini has been called up to the NHL and played that season. Right. Which is very rare for the NHL just because these are children.
Yeah, and occasionally there's a few diamonds in the rough that even go into the first or second round, and where they come into camp and it's like, whoa, he's ready.
Yeah.
It also comes down to need. It's like, are they like, can they be like 80% there, but also our depth is kind of like, maybe the depth of the roster isn't as significant as some places.
Like San Jose.
Yeah.
They're going to let those kids go right away because they have the roster space for it. Utah does not right now.
Utah is not. I think we've said it 1,000 times in the past. We're not in a rush to get these guys into the NHL right now.
This is longevity.
Yeah, so why rush the process if you don't need to? I think there's some cases in the NHL where fans are like, a lot of cases in the NHL where fans are very impatient about the development of players, and maybe rightfully so in some cases, but there's no reason to I mean, there's a reason to want to see Denomie in a playing in a Mammoth sweater very, very soon, but there's no reason to be like, he has to play this year. Right. It's not a rush. Guys like Simashev and Boot who were drafted years ago, I think there's,
and also playing in the KHL, which is just a different league.
Different level of physicality.
It's a very competitive league.
Yes.
Very physical league.
They care a lot there. There are players that are from Russia that will forego and like they'll get drafted by a team and never show up, and they'll just play in the KHL their entire lives. It's a different beast.
Yeah.
They're also huge already. Simashev and Boot are both way over
6'5", 6'7".
Yeah, I feel like of everyone at
Did you
development
stand
camp,
next to any of them?
Yeah.
yeah,
How'd that feel?
They're huge.
Yeah, I feel like of any of the players at development camp, Simashev to me stood out the most, only because I hadn't watched him play. I mean, I've seen highlights, right? But like in the context of playing with other Utah players, I feel like I was just maybe more attentive. The kid's freaking good at hockey.
Really good at hockey.
I mean, I think of the entire development camp, Simashev stood out the most.
Yeah.
He was like across the board the most talented and efficient and effective player in every aspect: skating, passing, shooting, transition, offense, defense, forecheck, back. Like he stood out the most.
Yeah.
And when you watched him, you were like, he's ready. And that was the expectation. Bill has said since, basically the season ended that, where we should see Simashev and Boot get minutes in the NHL this season. Now, that doesn't mean that they might not spend some time in the AHL. And it's really going to come down to how are they competing? Because look at Utah's blue line. There's 10 defensemen.
Yeah. It's also like an injury thing. Like I feel like a lot of times when players get there, especially when they're playing the NHL, actually 100% of the time, when a prospect is still playing in the AHL, I feel like most of the time they get called up either because the team is underperforming and you need to shake things up, or because injuries happen.
We saw it this
last
year.
season twice.
Yeah.
Lamoureux and Doan.
Yep. Both had to come up because of injuries to the Utah Hockey Club.
Well, and Doan was a part of a shakeup because of underperformance, and then part of a shakeup because of
Gunther.
And then he came up and proved
To stay.
to be worth being a part of a trade.
Yeah.
So
Maybe let's break down what a two-way contract is for the people.
two-way contracts essentially allow a team to freely move players between the AHL and the NHL, often signed by depth players who are going to play heavy minutes in the AHL and then come up and fill holes when injuries happen. Almost exclusively when injuries happen. We have a couple of those guys. I feel like we didn't see a bunch of them this year, but we will see them. We saw some goalie action with two-way contracts this last year.
Yeah, Yamamoto signed a two-way, I believe.
Yes, yeah. So Yamamoto, guy like that, super valuable to have him on a two-way contract because he can come in. As the team, as Bill Armstrong said, they feel like they can trust him to come in and play good hockey, even though he's going to go and play great hockey in the AHL because he's a good AHL player. He is a depth NHL player, a guy that a lot of people like in the NHL. Just maybe it's name, maybe it's lore. Between going in between all these other teams.
Also, it's important to note that we're affiliated with the Roadrunners from Tucson.
Yeah,
people think that we have an affiliation with the Grizzlies, which is not true. There's a lot of it's a different
at this point
different league.
We
entirely.
didn't talk about that actually.
Yeah. Different league entirely. We have nothing to do with the Grizzlies
NHL,
as far as
AHL, ECHL.
Yeah, those are the three tiers of
When it even goes beyond
American,
that, but those are the three big ones, if you will.
Sure. Yeah. That we deal with in Utah.
Yeah, and you have
the ones that every team will have affiliation with.
And you have affiliations because, again, injuries. I think it was a Colorado Avalanche, not this last season, but maybe the year before. So the Grizzlies are affiliated with Colorado. So Colorado, so like the Avalanche, and then they have what is their
the Eagles?
Yeah,
I think it's just the Colorado Eagles. Yep.
Yeah. They're the AHL. And
Producer Tanner's
from
we should
probably
Colorado. I could tell you all about this. Like they had the most amount of like AHL guys have to suit up for them.
Yeah.
Not surprising. Just not a very good franchise. So just continue.
So Colorado then had to pick up a bunch of Grizzly players. Yeah. So the Grizzlies were like terrible because they're like
Cole was playing defense for the Grizzlies.
No, they had to really do some digging and find like some local guys to play because they're like, we have so many roster spots.
They asked me, but I couldn't. I was busy. I was going to say
we should talk about. I feel
uterus.
Like in local news, the Grizzlies
sidebar.
The Grizzlies released a statement where they are
3 weeks ago.
Yes, and the odds are they're going to be moving. And what I've heard is that they're moving to New Jersey. So, kind of sucks for hockey fans in Utah who kind of grew up with the Grizzlies, and it's been the only professional hockey here since
'95.
Since '95, is that when the Eagles relocated? The Golden Eagles relocated.
I think so.
Yeah. Interesting fact. Probably some of the coolest branding in my opinion. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the Detroit Vipers hockey team branding. That's who the Golden Eagles became. They were sold to Detroit and became the Detroit Vipers. Which, if you're listening from home, you should look up Detroit Vipers, Brandon, because it's like sick, classic '90s
hockey
sports branding. I don't know if you guys see those comparisons of old logos and new logos. 90s sports branding is so elite.
Well, that's why the Coyotes logo was so cool.
Yeah, the Kachina.
Yeah.
I love the Grizzlies original logo with just the grizzly bear with the stick.
Yeah, same.
I hate the new one.
I don't really like the new one either. I like their Kelly Green uniforms.
Yeah, those are amazing.
Kelly Green.
Why do you like Kelly Green?
Because it's green.
I like green.
You're wearing your hat right now. So.
Oh yeah. Just Ian Cole fan. Notre Dame.
Ian Cole,
league leader in blocks, by the way. I don't want to hear any Ian Cole slander.
I slander.
Well, let's go back to talking about how deep the defense is.
Yeah.
Right? So, full circle here. We're coming back. Talking about the prospects and Boot and Simashev. Simashev, absolute standout of development camp. That's probably the number one takeaway. Aside from hey, Iginla can still play hockey. Yeah. Simashev was far and away the best player.
Yeah, and for impatient fans, we'll kind of figure out more once training camp comes around, and they'll start with they'll start with a city of players and end up with just the roster spots available. So you'll see cuts happen. It's kind of interesting. You'll see cuts happen once a week or once every other day.
It's going to be every day.
Yeah, it's quick.
Especially towards those last week. It's bunches every day.
Because those teams OHL teams and NCAA teams, they want their players back.
Yeah.
You can't just keep them.
Yeah.
Right. So it's going to be interesting because you have. So to preface, Bill said this is going to be the most competitive camp that he's overseen, which is great.
Yeah.
And he also expounded on, because I asked, I said, how competitive do you expect the defense to be? And he's like, well, we're trying to avoid what happened last season where our, two of our top three guys were out for most of the year and we're scrambling. We're having to trade for Olimana. We're having to try to pick guys up off waivers. I don't remember who they picked a defenseman or two up before DeSimone and they didn't work and they released him. And then they got DeSimone and he was great. But it took a while, right? And they're scrambling and they had to pull up Maverick Lamoureux, but then he got injured. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And so now
we need more Maverick Lamoureux action this year.
Probably not going to get it.
Yeah.
You have 10 defensemen that are going to be battling for 7 spots.
Yeah.
How does that look? Because you know who your top 4 are. You got Sergachev and you got Marino and you got Mata and you got Dursey. How does that third line figure itself out? Because then you have Ian Cole and you have Nate Schmidt and you have Simashev.
They gave Nate Schmidt money. He's making the roster. He's here, so he's going to fill one of those
for sure.
spots. And I feel like he's too good to not fill one of those spots.
No, but do you run with 7 defensemen?
I like the look of being able to run with 7 defensemen. I also
and then scratch one.
Yes, so but I also like the ability for a team to be like, we have a couple forwards down. Maybe they're not 100%. We've got a long road trip.
Right.
I like it when teams run 7.
No, I like 7D as well.
I love it when teams run 7D. I feel like for some people, especially to shake things up, it performs better sometimes.
And if you have them all at kind of even levels like they are, it's almost better to start trading them out. You don't have a healthy scratch who's being scratched every game. You're probably likely trading out different people every time when you have those 7.
Yeah, I expect Nate Schmidt and Ian Cole to fill those last 2 spots.
And I'd like Simashev to be 7.
Yeah, same.
Let him prove himself.
Yeah.
Let him prove that he belongs and that he can play up on a higher line.
Yeah, give us some time. Give Ian Cole a rest. He's not the youngest guy.
And then you've got DeSimone that you can scratch. And I think that other defenseman that they signed is on a 2-way.
Yes.
So you can...
Today's Nick DeSimone's. We're recording on Nick DeSimone's wedding day. Happy wedding day, Nick DeSimone.
Only Kelly would know this.
Kelly,
how do you find out
I
this?
follow all the wives.
Yes.
Also, he's totally watching.
Perunovic.
I spoke directly to him. Happy,
unlike his
I think
happy
he's on
wedding
a 2-way.
day. He's tuning in live to the Utah Hockey Podcast on his honeymoon right now.
Yeah, so if you have Perunovic on a 2-way, you're probably putting him in Tucson.
Immediately.
Unless he comes into camp and shows hey, I should be the one to get scratched, then that's what. But
Scott Perunovic may be an underrated pickup too on defense. I mean, not a guy that's performed a bunch in the NHL, but he won the Hobey Baker Award in college. He's
Not nothing.
Yeah, it's not nothing. So, but a guy that can come up and fill spots if there's that many injuries. Gosh, I hope there's not that many injuries because we got
and
plenty
then you
of
have
defensemen.
Lamoureux down at Tucson. That's why I'm saying I don't expect to see him.
That's fair.
And I
Yeah.
think from his development standpoint, he needs to thrive in the A before he's ready to come up to the NHL.
Yeah.
Like he needs to do that. He didn't necessarily thrive when he was back down there full time, and that's okay. Like it was a crazy season, right? Like he got pulled up earlier than he probably was. The Utah was planning to because they needed a body, and they brought him, and he did fine, but he's still figuring it out, and so I would expect he's going to see very little, if to no time in the NHL,
especially coming back from an injury.
Right.
I would probably want to give him a season to
like
rebound.
just go thrive in the AHL. Like just dominate that blue line, get involved offensively, so that next season, when some of
Build
these
your
deals,
stat line.
yeah. So then you can go, hey, I'm here now. I can play.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like when Ian Cole comes off contract next year, you can go, thanks, Ian. You're 37.
Yeah.
Time for Lamoureux to come up, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I expect. It's fun, and that's great. That's such a good problem to have.
It is.
Yeah.
When you have so much talent.
An
that you-
embarrassment of
depth.
riches and still tons of cap space.
Right.
Like,
Yes. We got them on the cheap, which is drafting them.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're going to have them for a long time, which is great stuff.
Yep.
And we still traded Doan and Kesselring, who were like younger guys who have potential, and we still have so much depth.
Yes.
So it really is cool.
Yeah, because, next year, Nick DeSimone, 26, 27, will become a UFA, as well as Ian Cole, as well as Juuso Välimäki, who's still...
I don't know that we're gonna see him at all.
Yeah.
And was Perunovic's just a 1-year deal?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes.
So again, there's going to be a lot of contracts coming off the books, and then you can go, we don't need to bring any of those guys back because some of these prospects are ready. Simashev is ready to be a third-line defenseman. Lamoureux is ready to be a third-line defenseman. So we'll see. I want to kind of project where I see these guys, but what did you guys think of the development game?
I got to tune in on my live barn, which is hilarious. And then I tweeted it and everybody was like, oh yeah, live barn, because this is a camera that records at the Utah Olympic Oval constantly. I use it because I play there and then we rip highlights off of the live barn. So then I tuned
Kelly's got to put them on her huddle.
live barn. I put it,
The
I make
PWHL
sure,
needs somebody they're looking
Yeah.
for.
Just in
If
case
they're-
the Grizzlies.
yeah, if the Grizzlies need me, then I have my highlights ripped off of Live Barn, which is just me dancing in a tutu and not actually scoring any goals or assisting in anything. But
Can I go to Live Barn and get that highlight from
Yes.
their angle?
yes,
Okay, I'm going to
Yeah.
do that.
but
When
it's
Kelly
far
texted
away.
that she was watching from Live Barn, I was like, oh, shoot. And
Yeah.
then I tuned in on Live
Yeah,
Barn.
that's
too.
what everybody said.
Because
there
You're
wasn't-
welcome.
Yeah.
All right.
You could watch the whole game.
Oh, cool. But like the angle was like way
So
up.
Live Barn zooms in on the puck. So it's a little bit tricky because you don't have control over where you're looking.
Right,
It
it's
really
not like this broad
it's not
view.
bad. Like if people are skating away, it zooms out. But if people go skate to the bench, it zooms out. So
I feel
you're
like Live
not
Barn
actually
should put
in
one of
it.
those 360 cameras so it looks like a little planet. That
I
they're all
want to.
playing
Yeah,
on.
I want to do. I want one on the sides too.
Yeah.
we need to up their Live Barn game at the Oval, but it's silly anyway.
Well,
So,
that'll be the last time
yeah,
Utah suits up at the Olympic Oval.
yeah.
Ideally.
be.
Yeah.
Should be.
We'll see
I would
if
say.
it's finished.
Well, you can speak to this because you were there, but I appreciated that all the fans got to be there. They had 500 supposedly.
Yeah, wasn't
I don't
it just
think they fit that many.
Wasn't it just kids?
No, I don't know what happened. It was supposed to be
because they
five.
announced that it was just going to be a bunch of kids.
Yeah, it was supposed to
Yeah.
be 500 youth hockey players.
I
I
got
don't know
invited,
if they
but
just
I couldn't
didn't
go.
get
And then
as
season
many signups. But
season
then
ticket holders.
Yeah, so they invited season ticket holders. They were watching like
Far
over
away.
on the balcony.
Basically Live Barn.
Yeah.
They were over
And
in the
then
Live Barn section.
I think they had youth hockey players with parents. And my guess is there was like 200 to 250. Like looking at the stands, I was like, there's no way they're going to fit 500.
Yeah.
So I think it was like, I mean, it was sold out, if you will.
Well attended.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 250 probably youth and their parents watching. And then I don't know how many season ticket holders were there, but there were a bunch up on the
Ryan
balcony.
Smith was there.
Yeah,
all
Ryan
the
Smith.
admin were
Yep,
there.
everybody was there.
What I take away that I think is really beautiful is that these people potentially could be playing hockey together the rest of their career, their NHL career. But this is the first time they're having that chemistry come together. So to see Simashev ripping off passes that like stick to stick, right? Like just like incredible chemistry already between some of these players. And from Live Barn, I couldn't tell who was who very well until I was watching. Yeah, from where you were.
Well, especially because we were in the corner, so we were on the. I guess if you walk
Nobody
into
puts
the
Bagley
oval,
in a corner.
I know. If you walk into the oval, it was like the closest corner of the ice. I couldn't see what was happening.
That's northeast.
Yeah, I couldn't see what was happening on the other side.
Yeah.
So it was nice because when Simashev and Baudouin were just dominating, it was right in front of me. But then we go down and like it's like warped, right? The glass. So I was like, I don't know. Somebody scored. People are cheering. I have no idea. But what I could see, so Simashev got the MVP award for the game, which, I think he does. I would have given it to Baudouin. I thought he had the better game. Simashev had the best camp, but I think Baudouin had the best game. And the reason for that, like I said earlier, he was everywhere. He had 2 goals, an assist or 2. He dove in front of a puck, which was crazy. He was battling in the crease, battling in the corners. I can't remember who. I think he hit Boot right in front of us. I was like, okay, Baudouin is here to play, and I love that. He was aggressive, moving the puck really well. Simashev, like what stood out about Simashev is he was so engaged offensively, which is what he was asked not to do in Russia. When he was in the KHL, his coaches said, no
You're
offense. You are defense.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
You are defense.
Yes, sounded like that. But he was, he was getting in on the rush. He was doing breakouts. He was dangling through the defense. He was flying up the, the wings. He was going right at the net. He scored an incredible goal.
Yeah.
And the celly was even better. He was awesome. He looked ready. Baudouin, again, like I said earlier, I think he's going to make the coaching staff's job really tough this fall. I think he's going to be a fringe cut, maybe the last prospect.
Is this all they get to see of them before they start making those cuts?
No, so they'll come for rookie camp.
Okay.
And then there's a rookie showcase. So rookie camp is like the first week of September. Then there's a showcase. It's working a little bit differently this year. It's in Colorado. The Avalanche, the Knights, and Utah will all play each other.
That's right. Yep.
I'm hoping that everyone's healthy and playing in that.
It's pretty normal too for that. For especially the rookie games, for those to be played against other rookies of other teams.
Yeah.
We had them here last year.
It was in LA.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember.
It really should. I'm hoping with the completion of the.
I know that they want
stadium
to. I know that they want to.
Yeah.
They want to try to host something here, which would be awesome. You could do it
be
next
awesome.
season.
And of the 3 states that are involved with that, I feel like it's not really like close on what state is better. So I think Utah makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could
That's
do it
for
next
sure.
season.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anything is scheduled that far out, and the facility will be ready to go. Why not bring in a bunch of Western teams and be like, look at this shiny new facility that you don't have that we do. Hey, prospects, when your contract is up, if you're interested, why don't you come over here?
Yeah.
But no, it would be awesome, and it would be.
We have one dining table.
Yeah, and it
They
would be
have
a
one
big,
dining table in the new facility.
Yeah, it would be huge. I think for the growth of the game to just let Utah fans, because they're dying without hockey right now. They are starved for hockey.
As a person who relates closely, I'm also dying
It's
without
also
hockey.
very clear that they're dying without hockey.
Yeah.
Like dying for
Starting to fight each
hockey
other.
and dying for I mean I don't follow too much on the X stuff. We'll see stuff every once in a while, but I mean these fans just freaking love hockey.
Yeah.
It's an
They need
addiction.
more of it.
And I
It is-
understand.
It's hard.
Yeah,
It's
it
hard
is.
to go because there's so many games that happen now, 84 in these coming seasons, 84 games happening in coming seasons. That's hard to have that so much action for
Every day of the week.
7 months,
Six and a half.
6.5 months, and even like with the playoffs with a little bit more. It's hard to disconnect from that.
I mean, it's a full 6-month off season for Mammoth fans. That's tough. That's
It
hard.
feels long.
Especially because it was so good. People were so hooked to it, and then it's like, give it back.
Okay, for real, guys, when we got a hockey team, I did not think that I would have the capacity to pay attention to 82 games.
yeah, you're wrong.
For real. I
Yeah.
was like, there's no way. LOL. Look at me now.
I didn't know how I was
fully
going to cover
watching-
82.
Yeah.
And there were some nights where I was like, I don't know what I'm going to write about tonight. But it was great. And I miss it.
Like,
Yeah.
I am tired. The end.
Yeah, there were some where I was like, this is a bunch of
Back to
BS
back to back
right
to back
now.
to back. Yeah. Wild.
Yeah.
It's just cool.
But anyway.
What a transition. Okay, so after mid dev week, we also had free agency.
Free agency
Open
and some
up.
trades. Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I was nervous to say the least. What was good, because we had talked about Brad Marchand prior. What was good is that he was gone immediately.
It heated up though near the end.
Yep.
Where it was,
There was a
very
lot of
clear that
talk.
Utah was a competitor.
Yes.
Like it wasn't just speculation from a couple small accounts. It was Elliot Friedman and Pierre LeBrun and Frank Saravalli all reporting that Utah is in the mix for this guy.
Yeah.
So that sucked a little bit.
Yeah.
And then it came out after the fact that they made a run at Ehlers too.
Yeah.
Like they were trying to
Buy
pick up
somebody. Yeah.
pick up not small players.
Yeah.
So
It's fine.
yeah.
I mean, I think what I like about this free agency period for Utah is they got better.
Yeah.
And they also didn't tie themselves down on any bad contracts. They added depth. They added playoff experience. You're getting 2 Stanley Cup champions, recent Stanley Cup champions coming in, to join the roster. And you filled the needs that you needed to. You got more depth defensively. You got another goaltender. You were able to add some grit in a guy like Brandon Tanev. And then, your big swing was the Peterka trade, a week before that. So I like it. I know a lot of people were like, they didn't take any big swings. I'm like, well, they did. It just didn't come the way that I think most people were anticipating. And it's okay, because this team is on a very specific timeline. And they're not stepping into that championship window this season or next season or probably the one after that, or even
Speak for
4
yourself.
from now.
Yeah.
But when Cooley and Gunther and all these prospects start to get a little bit older and they're starting to step into the 24, 25, 26 age range, that's hopefully when that window opens. And at that point, you've got a ton of phenomenal young players on your team for really cheap, and that's when you can start winning.
Yeah. Just because we have cap space doesn't mean we get tied up.
Right.
Because
That we should spend it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if we get tied up and then we can't figure out how to play this season, you just don't want that.
Because what did Marner end up with?
He ended up with, was it? Oh man,
Was it 12?
I think so. Yeah.
I think it was 12.
Yeah, because he's now
Vegas.
in Vegas, which is gross. Yeah, a $12 million AAV
7?
contract. Yeah,
Yeah.
$96 million contract
You don't need
that
that.
you just gave to a guy who turns into Casper the Friendly Ghost come mid-April.
Yeah.
So, and who knows? Maybe he performs differently. I think we've seen. I mean, I have no doubt
He
in my
needed to
mind
get out
that
of Toronto.
yes, I have no doubt in my mind that he will do better
Yeah.
in Vegas and that he is a superstar.
I don't know if
So-
he'll have as many regular season points as he did the
That's
last
not how
couple
Vegas
years.
operates. Yeah.
Right. But he might actually show up and play when it matters the most
Yeah.
and in the playoffs. And that's,
Yeah.
I think he just needed to get out of Toronto.
Yeah. I think we all learned a lesson from the Nashville Predators last summer, winning the summer, as Bill Armstrong has said before, picking up players that they thought their team was stacked by getting a bunch of big names.
Most people did, but
yeah. We were all looking at them like, well, okay, well, they
Like, why haven't played
are
this
looking
season?
good.
Yeah.
And not a lot of happy fun times were happening with the Nashville
Bottom
Predators.
feeder.
Whole lot of summer bark and not a lot of winter bite.
Yeah, so Bill Armstrong in GMBA, we trust to not win the summer, just to lose the winter.
Yeah. Not a lot of catfish on ice.
Yeah.
No.
So we acquired Nate Schmidt from the Panthers. I listened to a PR that we had with Nate Schmidt, and I listened to a podcast with Allie Schmidt, his wife, who is due any day with their
next
second
week.
baby.
Is that what
So-
GMBA looks? Is that what Bill Armstrong's looking for? He's like,
If
Who's
they're
about to have a
having
kid?
a baby, I want him on my team.
Salt Lake City is the stuff for you.
I mean, really, if you're going to raise a baby, might as well do
after
it in Salt
spending
Lake
time,
City.
after spending the last 2 weeks in Los Angeles, I am so grateful that I'm not raising my children in that city. First of all,
Parks.
Utah
Splash
people will
pads.
love this. California sucks. We all know that. There's just not really much to do with children.
Yeah.
Correct.
And if you want to drive somewhere, it's going to take you 30 to 45 minutes. If you are a player that is looking to raise a family somewhere, why are you going to Vegas, number one? Like, he was like, great place to raise a kid. Sure. There's suburbs of Vegas that I get are probably better. Utah is
Way better.
I can't imagine raising my kids anywhere else.
Truly.
There's just, it's so accessible. Like, for all of the
We're
potential
speaking directly to the free agents.
I know that like Connor McDavid listens and he's going to be a free agent. Like, listen up, dude.
It's worth the pay cut to come raise your children in a place that they'll be happy, and your
Yeah.
wife.
Yeah, no,
Realistically.
I do think that these players look at those things. Like,
I mean,
am I
you
going
should.
to raise my kid here?
Yeah.
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 It's kind of a sick place to raise a kid.
Yeah.
So,
So Allie Schmidt, good luck to you. Do any day. And they truly came off of the Panthers Stanley Cup win. They like crawled out of the pubs
Yeah.
after the parade, and then are in Minnesota packing and coming to Utah.
24
after she has
days
a baby,
later,
which is
signing contracts with a
crazy.
different team.
And to be a free agent after winning the Stanley Cup is wild, but they were so positive about Utah. You got to talk to him, and he sounds really excited. Did you talk to Tanev?
Yeah.
Brandon Tanev, coming from the Kraken.
Yeah, so over the last 2 weeks, we've talked to Tanev, Paterka, Schmidt, and then McBain.
Well, he's coming from Winnipeg.
Tanev?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, he was in
because
Seattle for
he
most-
was in Seattle for the most of last
Right.
season,
Moved at
and
the
then was
deadline.
traded at the deadline. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. But he was in Winnipeg before that.
Notably,
Yes, he was. Yep, and then
notably, his photos are the
Headshots.
famous
Yeah.
part of Brandon Tanev's history in the NHL. If you are tuning in to our video, Mike is doing the face, maybe wider eyes actually.
Yeah, it's-
there
yeah,
you go.
there you go.
Yeah, nailing it.
Oh,
we got him on the
wow.
Zoom.
There it is.
Yeah.
Somebody did tell me that I look like I could be related to Brandon Tanev.
Yeah,
I
you
took that
could.
as a compliment above any other compliment.
Yeah.
If you grew your hair out, I think most people would be like,
Let's get away.
Yeah, I don't think
Hold on.
people know this.
Put this up.
And maybe if this is clipped, maybe we could put a picture of my hair 4 years ago.
Ooh.
I had hair down to my lower back
Ooh.
just a couple years ago. So
Did not know that. Wow.
it
I
was
feel
fun.
like we learn more things about each other every
I know.
time we podcast.
I've had pretty long hair multiple times in my life. So
That's cool. Me too.
that's great, Kelly.
Never.
I've had long hair my whole life.
Cole
No,
was
we saw
bald
your
in
sick
middle
flow.
school.
we saw his sick flow. We've already posted his
That's
sick
true.
flow. So we got picked up those free agents. Stoked on that.
Yeah, they're all excited.
And then we had a lot of Jack McBain.
McBrain.
Jack McBain.
That's cute. You should use that. Jack McBain.
He had a super big head.
Maybe he's
he
really
doesn't.
smart. He has good hockey IQ. That's when he's Jack McBrain.
And when he's got the stash, he's McBabe.
That's very popular on the interwebs.
is,
McBabe.
Aren't you supposed to be a journalist?
I'm reporting.
Cole
I'm
is here
reporting the
because
facts.
he has
It's what-
crushes
yeah.
on the players, and they're very handsome.
There's only one player I have a crush on. He doesn't play for Utah, so
We know. We know. We know.
Just had to break the fourth wall there for a second.
We know. Then Jack McBain did not sign to re-up his contract with Utah. They were in talks in arbitration.
yeah. So they sent him
And
a
then-
qualifying offer,
Yes.
and he did not file for arbitration. The team then filed for arbitration, but
Yes.
it did not ever reach it. They came to an
Right.
agreement,
Yeah.
and they gave him 5 years.
So everybody was
4.25.
Yeah, everybody was kind of panicking that could mean he was gone. All it meant was that they were going to go in a room with a third party to kind of work things out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and since it was team initiated, it meant that whatever number they came up with in that room was binding, and then the player could decide 1 or 2 years. And it also, if you file for arbitration, it avoids offer sheets. You can't be offer sheeted if you're going into arbitration, but never made it to arbitration, so didn't really matter. I think that was the expectation. Arbitration was just kind of this. Arbitration is meant to create some level of surety for players
Yeah.
and for teams. Teams to know they have a roster player. Players can file for arbitration to know they have a place to play the next year, and they know where they're going to play, and they can start settling into their new team and organization. And arbitration solidifies that player's spot on your team. And there's things that can happen that in player initiated arbitration that can actually make that contract. Like the team can be like, absolutely not.
Yeah,
It gets complicated.
Player elected arbitration is the scary one.
Yeah.
That's when you're like, oh, things are not going well.
Yeah.
The team arbitration is more almost like a formality, and a lot of times
where it's like you're playing here, but we don't know for what.
Yeah. You're going to be here,
and,
we're pretty
and a
sure.
lot of times, what happens.
How's Dylan Guenther going to get to practice if you're not here, Jack?
So a lot of the time, it's a deal happens. It's just that like formality, and so I think people were like, arbitration. It's like, no, if it's not player initiated, like it's fine.
I know I'm shouting out Mike here because you did a lot of like internet mediation really for the people who were like, what is happening? And you were on the interwebs setting everybody straight that it was probably going to be okay. They reached that and it was fine. And Jack McBain just talked to Cole directly. Cole got to ask him if he and Dylan Guenther are going to be
roomies,
and
if they're carpooling, and by carpooling I mean is Jack driving Dylan around town anymore? And even if they don't live together, it sounds like that's going to be the case. So.
It's funny when we left the jersey ceremony. When I walked out, Jack McBain and Dylan Guenther walked out the side, and I just kind of said I had already talked to him inside, so I was like, I'm not going to go and freaking bombard these guys while they're getting home. But they were just walking home together in their jerseys.
They're like attached at the hip.
Yeah, just like brothers.
Yeah.
And
there was like a security guard walking them out, and I was like, aw,
cuties.
Where's ours?
Yeah.
He said, Jack McBain said, I probably have to pick up Dylan Guenther because he doesn't want to get gas.
Yeah.
Message for Dylan: if Jack is not available, the Utah Hockey Podcast will be there for you. To give
so
you
this is a direct message now to Dylan Guenther. You can passenger princess in my Subaru Ascent. It's 8-passenger. Bring your friends.
Oh, spacious.
It would fit your hockey bag. Not that you ever cart that around, but if you wanted to bring multiple snacks.
Yeah, who's got the best hockey
room.
parent vehicle here? I drive a 2006 Lexus GX 470. Give us the year, make, model.
8-passenger 2018 Subaru Ascent, first model, but it does have a automatic trunk.
Okay.
I have a 2019 Honda Pilot.
Okay.
Those are all pretty decent, Dylan. So
Yeah.
that's
Those are
your
pretty good.
offer.
There are 4 of us on call.
At any moment.
Yeah, Tanner, what card do
We
you
don't
drive?
need to know what you have.
Never mind. Cole wants me to mute, so I'm gonna.
Sorry, guys.
Anywho, do you want to get to some questions from the fans?
Yeah, absolutely. So there was a question that I thought was kind of funny because we were, like we talked about at the very beginning, we were supposed to have a guest today and some technical weird technical difficulties.
Can we
were
say,
happening.
okay, our weird technical difficulty was that when
So
people
weird.
logged onto the Zoom, all they heard was weird classical hold music
And T-Mobile advertisements.
and a T-Mobile advertisement, and we couldn't speak to the people because that's all they could
It was
hear.
like elevator
So,
music.
yeah, these are like
We couldn't get it off.
studio problems that we didn't have at Mike's house. Just gonna say,
Yeah, when
We didn't have
when
these
we
in our
stop
old
recording,
studio.
Cole might fire me.
producer Tanner is fearing for his life and his
Producer
job.
Tanner's just it keeps going like this, just so we'll keep talking, just so he can keep his
He's
job.
still getting paid.
Yeah. Okay. First question. How much of our season, this is from JD Court 02. I'm not going to look up what your name is. Well, you have to click.
I know,
on Instagram, you
it's
got to click
fine.
all these buttons and get their name. I'll get it. How much of our season do you think is dependent on veggie / stability in the crease? Like, what's the percentage that we're going to expect veggie to start this year? 80-20. 70-30.
Probably 70-30.
75-25.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere between 70-30, 80-20.
Yeah.
Like I'd put him at probably 55, 60 games.
Yeah.
And then and then the backup is filling in the rest
Yeah,
of
or
those.
more. I think we've seen that Bear likes to ride the hot hand, and Veggie's hand was very hot for a while.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
/ Connor Ingram situation. Our goalie room was kind of in limbo for a little bit there, and Veggie held it down.
We had that interesting conversation with Tyson Nash about how, having a goalie who's breathing down your neck constantly, who's a really good goalie, is a difficult situation, and Veggie just had to be the guy.
Yeah.
So we're hoping that his performance is as high as it has been this season,
Yeah,
and then you kind of go from there.
If he'll give similar numbers over the course of, starting in net for 65, 70, 75% of the season.
Yeah.
I think Utah makes the playoffs.
You don't want your goalie to be so spread thin like he had to be this past season.
This is also a modern problem, though. Great goalies in the past played every game.
Yeah.
And that's why you see these kind of insane
and they used to shoot
stats.
like this.
Yeah. That's the noise they made.
They're picking it up like a lacrosse goal
Yeah.
and putting it in. Like it's extreme.
Here comes
now.
old Bobby Orr.
Why do they all sound like that?
I don't know. There's a really good Shane Gillis joke that I like that talks about this.
It's the transatlantic voice. Goodness gracious. We gotta get out of here.
The next question
When did
is
that
from
change? What
You're
what
the
year?
journalist here.
I don't know.
We're the personalities. I don't know. Look it up, bro. The
Yeah.
transatlantic voice was like probably when everybody, it was like the New York voice. But when everybody else started broadcasting more mainstream, maybe it was like a California thing. When the California people went online, they had to like even out the voices. And they were like, hi, we're from California and we surf all day.
Okay, this next question comes from actually the same listener. It was a good enough question. We kind of already touched on it, but it gets a little bit more specific. Jaden Courtney asks, that was the last. Yep. Okay.
Way to go.
What rookies do you expect to be on the roster day one of the season?
Simashev.
We already got that one. Look, I can point into his camera.
I think that's it.
If you were to reach.
Simashev and Boot will see minutes.
Yeah.
I think Simashev is on the roster day one. I think Boot gets the boot down to Tucson.
And like you were saying, maybe. Oh, that was good.
That was good. Wait, I also have something cool to say. Did
Okay.
you know that boot is goal in French? Didn't know. Learned
know
this
that.
week. Boot. You
That's
literally say
sick.
it boot. I know.
Yeah.
That's cool. But he plays defense, but still, it's going to be cool.
He's allowed to play offense here, so that's good.
Yeah.
I like you were saying, I think Cole Baudouin, just seeing clips of him and hearing what people have had to say from him, I think he would be an interesting ad day one, especially because we talk about our defense being super, super stacked and just it's a busy defensive room and there's going to be decisions are going to need to be made. Our offense is less like that when you get to deeper lines.
Go through the lines though. Like just speculating, let's go. So I'm just going Gunther, Keller, Cooley.
Cool.
And then I'm going Peterka,
McBain.
Hayden,
Hayden,
Schmaltz. Yep.
And then Kraus, McBain, Tanev.
Curfy or Tanev, one of those guys.
I put Tanev there. And
Cool.
then fourth line, Stenlin, Kerfoot,
O'Brien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just trying
So
to think.
I mean, especially when you look at wanting to have more depth and not wanting to have a bunch of players being moved around all the time, I do feel like we have players that spent
we're not
time
missing
last
anybody,
season.
right?
I don't think so. No. This is I'm on Daily Faceoff, and that's what I normally go to for my
Rosters.
Yeah, for rosters, they're great. dailyfaceoffs.com if you want to look at kind of if you want to prospect a little bit and see who might start, what the lines might look like. That's what the lines.
So how many spots are we talking here? So who are your scratches?
Who are my scratches? The scratches are kind of whoever we're taking as rookies in the forwards, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Like who are your
Because
scratches?
that's pretty much it. In terms of
like I think DeSimone's a scratch. So then who are the other
on
two?
defense.
Right. Who are the other two?
I think it's
Are you
hard to
scratching Boot? Are you keeping him?
I think you end up scratching every once in a while, scratching guys like Ian Cole, who's older but comes in and plays a great game. Ian Cole, winner.
I think it's tough
Block
to scratch.
leader.
I think it's tough to scratch a guy like that.
Same.
Me
That's
too.
why I'm saying it.
I
I'm
don't
so
think
glad
Cole's
that's not
ever
my
going to
job.
get scratched.
Yeah. I
I
don't
think
see
they
why you
roll with
would.
7 defensemen, and that's how Simashev gets his minutes.
Yeah.
And unless Simashev is just like, he's way better than Cole or he's way better than Schmidt for a stretch, I don't think.
Or maybe
Yeah.
this is how we develop a better penalty kill.
But no, I'm just
system.
playing devil's advocate. I'm just trying to figure out like who, like, like maybe Boot does stay with
I don't
Utah.
want to say that we're going to scratch anybody. Yeah, because I look at normally you look at the third line and you say, okay, we can kind of move these guys in and out. Nate Schmidt and Ian Cole is a pretty freaking good defensive pairing.
Yeah.
For a third line in the NHL, that's a great that's
Right.
one of the better third line defensive pairings you're going to find.
Right.
One of them just won a Stanley Cup. One of them just led the league in blocks. which I don't know if you know anything about defensemen. That's kind of their job.
Yep.
So I don't know. I look at the pairings and I feel like the defensive you're going to see injuries in your defensive core throughout the season.
Right.
I feel like the opportunities come there.
Right, but I'm just saying
Assuming everybody's healthy.
right. Assuming
Assuming
everybody's
everyone's
healthy. Utah got rid of most of the scratches. Michelli was scratched for most of the last
Carcone,
two.
yeah.
Carcone was scratched.
Also not signed yet. Carcone.
Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So it's like Liam O'Brien is the only really remaining consistent scratch.
Mm-hmm.
But we just went through the lines.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna play.
Yeah.
Unless they make a trade or pick somebody else up. So I'm thinking like DeSimone, Boot, and then I don't know who's that? Do you keep does Perunovic stay and you're scratching 2D and 1 forward? That's where it gets tough.
Yeah. I'm just grateful I
This is
don't
why
have to
I'm
make
not
these
a coach.
decisions. Yeah.
So no, so answering then, I think Simashev and Boot will probably be on the roster day one. I think just based off what I saw at development camp, I think Boot needs some time in the AHL. I just do.
Yeah.
Simashev looks assertive, aggressive, ready to go. He looks like he's going to fit right in, no problems. With Boot, I just feel like there's a little bit more he needs to work on. There's a little bit more raw, I feel like he's kind of raw in his passing and distribution. That's at least from what I saw. And I think he just needs to improve overall as a 200-foot player. So I don't know. It's really tough because, like I said, Utah got rid of most of the scratches. So now it's like, what do you do? Who's getting scratched?
Yeah. Yeah, that's stressful.
Yeah. We can go just last question, and we don't even have to go into super detail on this because I know we're running long. It's true. Yeah, I don't know.
That's tough.
And they haven't even asked me yet.
Right. Another one.
Where do you put me?
Oh, okay. That's true.
So anyway, maybe the scratches are Yamamoto, Perunovic, DeSimone, and then Boot. We'll see where he ends up.
Yeah, I think maybe because you want to play your scratched players, but at the same time you want to give opportunities to players who are developing. I think more so you want to give opportunities to players who are developing than you want to play players who play a depth role like that.
Right.
So I would expect to see action from all those guys.
I think training camp is going to determine if Boot starts with the club day one or if they go, you need to spend some time in Tucson.
Cool.
I also think it depends on what things look like league-wide. I think if you have teams who are tanking hard, you maybe bring up some people and play those people and, have your scratches.
Yeah.
It just kind of depends. Maybe you scratch your top guys just because you can. It just depends.
All right.
The league.
Final question of players of the current roster players, who do you expect to take the next? Who do you expect to make the biggest jump this season? I can go first, and I'm going to give a boring answer. Clayton Keller.
I was just gonna.
If you're just looking at, I just think he's so underappreciated. He has a much better roster around him now. The defense is going to be better. Karel Vejmelka has another year to kind of get comfortable with his game in Utah and hopefully improve. JJ Peterka in the top 6. You never know how those line combinations shake up. I think less will be expected of him, or less will be he'll be leaned on a little less, so he'll perform more. That's my answer.
I actually
disagree.
think.
But I'll get there. Go ahead.
I think Clayton Keller has recognized, reflected. Like we said, Clayton Keller watches tape and has watched his games. I'm sure he played every single game over again just to watch himself point out all of his inconsistencies himself. But I think that after playing and winning gold with the U.S., I think he recognizes some things that you just got to play a little dirtier, right? Like he was so straight-laced almost in his game this past season. So to see him shoot the puck more frequently, he said it, we've said it, I think he's going to make a turnaround and be even better, if you can imagine.
I think it's going to be Logan Cooley. I think we're going to see Cooley banging on the door of 80 points. So that would be a 15-point increase. And not that Keller isn't going to be better. I think Keller will have a better season, but I still think he's going to be somewhere between 90 and 100. in terms of points. That doesn't mean he can't have a bigger impact, but I just think Cooley is going to take the biggest step based on how he played down the stretch, the fact that he had 65 points, the fact that he led All-Americans on that World Championships team with 12 points. I just think I just feel like he's on the cusp of this like pretty significant breakout season of pushing that 80-point benchmark.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thrilling stuff, y'all.
Yeah.
We apologize that we don't have a cool guest, but we hope that our insight into this hockey team served as enough for today. Thank you from the Utah Hockey Podcast. You can find us now on KSLSports.com on the website. You can find us on KSL Sports wherever you get your podcasts. Please newly subscribe to the new version of the podcast on those places. You can find us on YouTube on video under KSL Sports YouTube under the podcast tab.
And the app.
And the app. Oh my God. The
website.
app. We have
There's
an app.
so many.
I didn't know we had an app.
Yep. KSL
Until
Sports
today.
app. Click on podcast. We're right at the top.
Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you deeply. Have an amazing week. Love ya.
Cool.